In the second sellout crowd in Canada after Raw in Toronto on Monday, SmackDown was coming tonight from the Molson Center in Montreal, and the company's first show in the building since the all-time great Raw broadcast on the day after WrestleMania 18 that saw one of the hottest crowds in show history, as Triple H kicked off the show to a big reaction, with Hunter the latest top name to comment on the now infamous plane ride from London last Sunday. In an interview on the company's Byte This internet talk show, noting that the crew was sitting on the runway for an hour after a flight delay with alcohol flowing, with everyone hyped up after a successful pay-per-view, saying that everybody was having a good time for 6 out of the 8 hours on the plane before things escalated, with a few guys starting to have too good of a time that pushed some incidents over the edge, with Hunter saying that the business moves on while moving on with his promo to hype his match against Chris Jericho on Sunday in the company's first Hell in a Cell match since the 6-man match in December 2000, hyping a brutal match on Sunday with Jericho and Hunter having massive expectations to match with every Hell in a Cell up to this point, some of the most memorable matches in company history, bringing out Edge to confront Hunter for hitting him last Thursday in the continuation of Edge's elevation into a main event player, acknowledging that despite both being babyfaces, he's challenging him to a match tonight to go face-to-face with Hunter in a more serious demeanor, with the Hunter-Edge confrontation opening with over 4.9 million viewers, setting up the top match for the night, with Angle and Jericho attacking both to see Vince booking the tag match for the main event. In addition to the headline segment of the night, with Hogan expected to address the crowd in Montreal in the follow-up to his last all-time memorable crowd reaction in the same building on Raw on March 18. SmackDown picked up over 900,000 viewers throughout the first hour to average over 5.3 million viewers overall, seeing 2 matches with Devon vs. Maven and Stacey against Trish in a surprise after winning the women's title on Monday, with Vince McMahon, who appeared in backstage skits throughout the night along with a big segment of the show coming up, is set for one of his most anticipated TV appearances of the year, half an hour after the SmackDown broadcast goes off the air, with the highly hyped rematch of one of the most memorable talk show appearances in history in a second interview on the Bob Costas show starting at 10:30 p.m., with McMahon in the hyped interview, which last year drew the highest rating of the season, talking about the recent popularity decline of the company from the incredible peak of the boom period, and if his top star in Rock departing from the product full-time hurt the perception that the WWF reached its peak and is trending downward, similar to NBA numbers declining from the peak after Jordan's 1998 retirement, with Vince saying that viewership dropped due to them not connecting with some of the audience in the past year and are looking to rebound with more compelling storylines, while noting that numbers always rebound stronger than they were in the previous height, talking about Hogan's return to the company, saying that Hogan brought back awareness from the older demographics while hinting at his new role going forward in a reduced schedule compared to now as more of an ambassador for the company as the Babe Ruth of the industry, with another main subject being Vince talking publicly about the WWE name change for the first time, saying that the company made a bad deal by agreeing to give the World Wildlife Fund international exclusivity while he was distracted in a legal battle with the government in the mid-90s, leaving the door open for a potential WWF return, saying that they're still appealing the court decision despite the Get the F Out marketing campaign heavily pushed in the past 2 weeks, with SmackDown after going with a different format on the night with no hyped segment for the 9 p.m. top of the hour. Instead loaded up the final 2 quarters of the broadcast with the tag match and Hogan segment set to go back-to-back from 9:30 p.m. With the crowd buzzing since he was shown arriving to the building, Hulk Hogan came out at 9:28 p.m. for the big segment of the night, seeing the Montreal crowd after setting the bar high 2 months ago on the night after WrestleMania 18, replicating the all-time great Ovation to give Hogan one of the biggest crowd responses ever seen on WWF television, going crazy for 5 minutes of TV time before a word was said in the promo in an all-time memorable SmackDown moment, which in another way symbolized a closure to Hogan's career, with it expected to be the last televised appearance of him as the WWF World Champion, with him already advertised to appear at the SmackDown House show on Monday night, as Hogan, after the segment between his entrance to the massive ovation went over 7 minutes with the crowd response at the center of it, finally thanked the crowd after reinvigorating his career the day after Mania to lead to him having one final run on top, while thanking them again for the response tonight in a farewell promo, saying that every time he's in the ring he's in his own dream world and he hopes the dream never ends, bumping SmackDown over 800,000 viewers to set the stage for the upcoming confrontation. Vince McMahon walked out 10 minutes into the segment in front of the Montreal crowd to major heat from the Molson Center at the site of the 1997 Survivor Series, being put in the ideal heel position with the unique atmosphere in the city against the two biggest crowd favorites in its history in Bret and Hogan, saying that Hogan at one time was the immortal icon but now he's a shell of what he used to be, hyping the Hogan vs. Taker title match in 3 days while telling Hogan that he created Hulkamania and he can destroy it at any time, slapping Hogan to lead to him laying out McMahon to officially kick off the build-up to the inevitable Hogan vs. McMahon program decades in the making, with current plans targeting the match for either the SummerSlam pay-per-view or next year's WrestleMania 19. As the 17-minute Hogan-McMahon segment bumped SmackDown into the 4 rating range with over 6.6 million viewers in its most-watched segment in a month. While nothing could follow the unique crowd response in the building, the Angle and Jericho vs. Edge and Triple H match maintained the majority of the TV audience to lead to SmackDown averaging a strong 4.1 rating with over 6.5 million viewers in the loaded final half hour, with SmackDown overall after looking to be in a viewership freefall just 2 weeks ago while Raw was the stable brand. Unlike the massive drop Raw suffered on Monday, seeing the show drawing a steady audience of over 5.8 million viewers to not only maintain but increase from last Thursday, in a complete reverse of the trends from Raw, which unexplainably dropped nearly 2 million viewers in a week, with the main event tag going 9 minutes to close the show, with Angle pinning Edge for the finish in the final build-up to 2 of the top 4 matches on Sunday, with the Angle vs. Edge Hair vs. Hair and Hunter Jericho Hell in a Cell matches in the loaded pay-per-view lineup, in addition to Austin vs. Flair and Big Show and Hogan vs. Taker for the title.